Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Television. I'm Paige Chen, with me, Jeremy John. Well, happy news all around for everyone
East
in
final
town.
champions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, awesome day. Bombers, of course, in case you
missed it, even if you weren't watching the game, even if you're perhaps not that interested in football, I think it would have been hard to miss the news.
Yeah, it was a spectacular game. Guys played really well. Good luck, Hamilton, next year. That was darn ugly, but yeah, it was really nice. I don't know where you were watching the game, but Drew and I were emceeing an event for the Children's Museum yesterday.
Were you watching it at the same time? Or during the game?
During the game.
Okay.
So we had the Twitter feed up backstage.
Yes.
And then every time we came out, we got to do an update. And it was really awesome because when I got to walk out and say, hey, game's over, there's this hush. And I said, we're going to the Grey Cup. The place exploded. It was really
my goodness.
great.
I'm betting that people in there were like getting updates, people were texting them the score. So very exciting. So now they're heading off to BC at the end of this week.
Off to BC for the final, and not to be the down kind of guy, but that is going to be a tough game.
Do we know who they're playing?
Against BC, yes, in BC.
Okay.
That's going to be tough because we're playing a very good team in their home stadium.
But congrats! Like, the odds weren't, for them at the beginning of the season at all. So.
No, and it was spectacular, no question about it. Fantastic game.
I know that today a lot of people are booking their flights to BC. I actually know a couple of people who were already planning to go see the Grey Cup, regardless of who was playing.
Yep.
But now I know a couple of people who are like, I got to be there, I got to get there. Can you start driving maybe Wednesday?
Yeah, but that probably get in and get now, and congratulations to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. What a great way to say goodbye to Canada Stadium.
Yeah, and Alex Brown actually has a story that we'll see later on too.
Are the Bombers in the Grey Cup after they took care of the Ticats? Second quarter, Bombers down 3-zip. Alex Brink hits Jason Vega for the score, 3-yard strike, 7-3 Winnipeg. Third quarter now 10-3, nothing going right for the Ticats. Remember what happened to Kevin Glenn when he was a Bomber in the 2007 East Final? Well, similar situation here as Rodney Fritz falls on his ankle. Glenn left the game, didn't come back. Last play of the game, Chris Garrett with the exclamation point, punching it in. He had 190 yards rushing. Winnipeg off to the Grey Cup. They have the longest drought in the league, haven't won it since 1990, but they will get their shot where they last won it, in Vancouver. Who would they play? Eskimos taking on the Lions. Second quarter, Leo's up 6-3. Travis Lulay with the beautiful strike. Perfect to G. Simon. Lulay's going to be in the NFL in a couple of years, so BC fans better enjoy him. 53 yards, touchdown, G-Roy, 26-3. BC at the half, fourth quarter, now 33-16. Lulay on the quarterback keeper, winds up going 61 yards to the house. The Lions win easily, 40-23. So they'll play on their home turf in the Grey Cup against the Bombers. We'll have stuff for you all week on Breakfast Television.
Good morning. Thanks, Jenna. It seemed like nothing could slow down the blue and gold or their dedicated fans from celebrating a big win yesterday. A sellout crowd was on hand at Canada Stadium to watch the Bombers take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. While the Tabbies scored first with a field goal, it was all Bombers after that, as Winnipeg downed Hamilton 19-3 to earn their first championship appearance since 2007. They'll take on the BC Lions next Sunday in Vancouver in the 99th Grey Cup. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers victory also marked the end for Canada Stadium. Construction of the new home of the Bombers is well underway, and the hope is to have it ready before training camp kicks off in June.
We're proud of the Blue Bomber name, so proud of its glory and fame.
Good morning, Bomber fans. It's 6:14, and you are waking up to your team being the CFL East champions. How's that sound?
Pretty amazing.
Not bad at all. They're going to the Grey Cup, and it's going to be spectacular. We'll talk Grey Cup in a minute, but let's talk first about how you were watching the game, how you were taking in the game on Sunday. That was our web poll from Friday. It's really quite simple. We just wanted to know how you're going to be following the Bombers game. A lot of you in the stands. Hopefully all of you recover from the frostbite.
Oh, some of the tweets I saw about what people were wearing, like 4 pairs of pants and snow pants, 3 jackets and a vest.
On the other end, the Golden Boy was just wearing shorts and a toga.
ridiculous.
You got that right.
31% of you decided to watch at home in front of the TV where it was nice and warm.
It was nice. Or 12% saying on the radio, 36% saying I won't be tuning in. It is a Sunday after all. It was fairly busy. Some of us were sitting on Twitter waiting and watching and seeing how things pop up.
And that's how a lot of people got the score and knew what was happening. And also our one poll question today relates to the Grey Cup and of course the Bombers win as well. Will you follow the team to the Grey Cup game in Vancouver?
Because it's a lengthy trip. It's an expensive trip. But how many times in your life are you going to get to see this?
I like that a friend of mine actually already put up, I arrive in Vancouver 3:47 p.m. on Thursday. Who else will be there?
Lots of them. Watch out for the Bomber fans. They'll be there. We simply want to know if you're going. Are you making the trip out to Vancouver? Yes, no, or I don't really like football.
You know what? It can be costly to fly, especially if you're trying to book a trip last minute. That can be quite expensive. I don't know. I would imagine some people might do the drive, get a couple of people together.
Yeah, you get a couple friends. Everybody can drive. You sleep in shifts and make your way out there, party it up, sleep in shifts on the way back. You could do it.
The drive back would be more painful.
That'd be a long, slow, tough drive, but well worth the wait. Again, how many times are you going to get to see that? BreakfastTelevision.ca. We simply ask you to vote in our web poll. Will you be going out to Vancouver for the big game against the Lions? Yes, no, or I don't really like football.
Let us know. We'll have the results for you tomorrow. Right now. Good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast Television. It's 6:22 a.m. Thanks for joining us. Many happy Bomber fans out there. The city is still buzzing this morning after yesterday's CFL Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah, the Blue Bombers are off to the Grey Cup in Vancouver after a dominant 19-3 win yesterday over Hamilton. It was really ugly at some points. It was quite the atmosphere yesterday, and our Alex Brown was there.
It's go time, baby! It's go time!
If you're dressed up for it, it's fine.
It started with plenty of excitement, emotion, and high expectations.
We're gonna have roasted kitty for dinner.
A lot of memories here, Brought my boys here when they were young, and this is great.
We're gonna skin those cats. We're gonna send. They're gonna go back going meow, meow. Bombers by 40, at least. Santa guarantees.
And though the margin of victory wasn't that big, the Blue Bombers did pick up the win, saying farewell to Canada Stadium in style.
Let the celebration begin. Goodbye, stadium. Hello, Grey Cup game. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are East Division champions.
The victory keeps spirits high in Swaggerville.
We're going to the cup and we're bringing it home, baby! Woo! Awesome, awesome. Woo!
This is my first time with my son at a game, and good luck, Charm, and we're looking forward to the next generation at the new one.
It was a good way to end the season. It was a great way to end all these years in the Winnipeg Stadium.
What a great place. A lot of people put a lot of hard work. Volunteers, don't forget the volunteers of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're the ones that really, really need to be thanked.
It's unbelievable.
In the last 5 seconds, I just teared up and I cried. It's so amazing to be a part of something so great.
The goal now is to carry this momentum to Vancouver in the 99th Grey Cup.
Unbelievable. That last play, seriously, in this stadium is a East End final touchdown.
For Breakfast Television, I'm Alex Brown.
It was a heck of a way to say goodbye to the old stadium. You know what a great way to say hello to the new stadium would be?
With the rings.
Yeah, with rings and a Grey Cup. I'm just throwing it out there. Just a thought.
I'm just looking at everyone so bundled up yesterday. And the ski goggles, that was smart.
Isn't that a good idea?
Yes.
Not bad. Your vision's not impaired at any point. You're nice and anything is covered is good.
You need some blankets, and yeah, people were prepared, definitely.
I like the idea of the father and the son being at their first game together. Touching, sweet, and when that kid can finally feel his fingers, he'll be very appreciative.
Maybe sometime today. It could happen. Well, you know what? Still excitement. It's not over yet, right?
It's not over yet. There's one game to go. It's going to be spectacular. Going to be a great way, like I said, to welcome in the new stadium. A great way for Doug Brown to wrap up his career. If he can get, say, 4 or 5 sacks, maybe wrap up the BC quarterback and say goodbye to a career and say goodbye to Bombers fans. Should be spectacular.
It's going to be amazing. Right now, we'll check.
Cup game.
Yes, the Blue Bombers are off to the Grey Cup. They will take on the Lions in Vancouver. Good evening, I'm Mitch Peacock.
And I'm Janet Stewart. What a game it was. There's a lot of Bomber pride around Winnipeg today, and many football fans are scrambling to try and get themselves to the big game.
CBC's Chris Glover joins us live with more on the fan excitement.
I'm at the Bomber store, and they're trying to get themselves ready for that big game as well. Merchandise has been flying off the racks all day. That big win yesterday meant a big boost for sales and a big boost for morale in the city. If this party was any sign, the Grey Cup final will be quite the show, and lots of Bomber fans say they'll be there. Season ticket holder Wayne Hiltz is going. He and his buddies go almost every year, but this time's different. Not only are his Bombers there, but he also won more than $21,000 in yesterday's 50-50 draw.
It's going to be unbelievable. I mean, 07 in Toronto was fantastic when they were in that one, and yeah, it worked out perfectly for us. We booked in July thinking this could be the year. Even with the record last year, we thought they were close, and it paid off.
And lots of the fans that I talked to today are actually going to that big game. Coming up at 5:30, here are the extreme lengths one fan is going to try to get there. And I'll tell you whose jersey is selling out more than anyone else's. That's coming up at 5:30. I'm Chris Glover, reporting live in Winnipeg.
Thank you, Chris. Coming up in about 15 minutes' time, we'll hear from Bomber quarterback Buck Pierce on the team's approach to Grey Cup week. Well, just in case worst to first wasn't a good enough story for you, the Bombers put together an extra special ending to their stay at their Polo Park home. A touchdown on the final play of yesterday's East Division final not only sent the Bombers to the Grey Cup in style, but was a magical way to close out their time at that stadium. Hey, there's Chris Garrett taking the handoff from Buck Pierce on that final play. Now the Bombers are packing their bags for the trip to BC tomorrow. One win away from ending a Grey Cup drought of more than 2 decades. But can they keep their eyes on the prize after accomplishing so much already?
Of course. You know, it's our goal. You know, really there's no motivation needed right now. It's, you know, one game away and one shot. And you know, we're going out there with a purpose. It's a business trip for us, and we're excited where we are, but, you know, it's not done yet.
And we've got more Bombers Grey Cup coverage coming up in our next half hour. On the way, running back Chris Garrett talks about going from cast-off to playoff standout. Tonight, what some Blue Bomber fans are willing to do to get to the Grey Cup.
The only thing we need is tickets.
As friends gather to honor Harry Gagwich, police think they know who killed him.
Plus, old water mains and bumpy roads. How will we pay to fix our crumbling infrastructure?
In a city like Winnipeg, it's a really big issue.
Good evening, I'm Janet Stewart.
And I'm Mitch Peacock. It was a tremendous way to say goodbye to Canada Stadium. A big win by the Blue Bombers in the CFL East Division final.
And now a big test awaits the Grey Cup game in Vancouver. And tonight, Winnipeg fans are buzzing with Bomber pride. CBC's Chris Glover joins us now live with more.
I'm at the Bombers store where merchandise has been flying off the racks all day. The best-selling item, Doug Brown's jersey. It was sold out entirely. Now, yesterday's big win meant a big boost for business, and it also meant a big boost for morale in the city.
It's Grey Cup time!
Set your watch, Winnipeg. If this party was any sign, the Grey Cup final will be quite the show.
Next weekend in Vancouver.
I'm glad they're going. That's excellent.
At the Bombers store today, the party continues.
It's pretty busy for a Monday morning than usual. Yeah, a lot more traffic in here.
Bombers season ticket holder Wayne Hiltz is going to Vancouver. He and his buddies go almost every year, but this time's different.
It's always a bonus when they get to go to the Grey Cup.
Winner of 21 grand in the 50-50 draw, Hiltz now has some extra cash for the trip.
Well, yesterday was a good day for the team and for me.
The only thing we need is tickets.
Les Soretti is so desperate to get to the game, he's willing to trade his Jets tickets for a chance to get there.
One computer has Kijiji tickets in Vancouver. The other, besides my email, has the Kijiji tickets in Winnipeg.
He's in the middle of tracking down a pair, but it'll take some work.
somebody that I know in Lloydminster, driving halfway to Bonnyville and getting the tickets. So my long distance phone bill will be a little bit more than usual this month.
Back at the Bombers store, fans who already have a spot at the Grey Cup don't think Soretti will have much luck.
We're all set to go. No one's getting our tickets.
For the Bombers, the support means a lot.
It just shows that the city really cares about us, and they expect big things from us each day.
I'm sure we're going to have enough out there supporting us. We'll have the support from back home, and at the end of the day, it'd be like another road game.
Even if it's not as much as this, every bit counts. These fans will be happy to know last time Winnipeg won the Grey Cup, it was in Vancouver. Chris Glover, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Thanks, Chris. The Blue Bombers have been in the Grey Cup a total of 23 times. Only Edmonton has made more appearances. Of those 23 times, Winnipeg has won the Cup 10 times and lost 13. The Bombers have won 7 times since 1953, since 1980. The defense was outstanding, the special teams impressive, and the offense didn't seem to ever want to give up the ball. Yesterday's East Division final was just what the Blue Bombers had in mind, and now they're up against BC in the 99th Grey Cup. Running back Chris Garrett was a key, nearly 200 yards rushing. That's not bad for a guy who was cut by the Bombers this year before being brought back.
I thought about where I was a few months ago, and to see where I'm at now, I don't think that you could write a better story for me or for anybody for that matter. But you know, I'm not sitting on it, you know, because it's still work that needs to be done, and I'm going to do it.
Chris and the rest of the offense dominated the time of possession and helped the Bombers to feel in control for much of the game. The defense had the fans on their feet with another good effort as well. Marcellus Bowman says when a group survives a 4-win season, it thrives when the winning becomes the norm.
When we were losing, we had a great locker room. The teammates we all got together really well, and we stayed together through all the bad parts. So if you can stay together through a season like 4-14, when things are going right, you're definitely not going to separate. So I think it just shows the kind of cohesion that we have in the locker room.
Tonight on the Evening News.
Hello, Grey Cup game.
How are Winnipeg fans planning to cheer on the blue and gold in Vancouver in the Grey Cup?
I wait for a kickoff, the scope is closest to me.
It gives the mother a little bit more peace.
Friends remember the city's latest homicide victim as police lay charges in the record-breaking case.
It's really going to bother us.
And why some don't like the city's new rules for parking on the street during snow clearing.
From the Global Winnipeg Studios, the Evening News with Peter Chura.
Time winding down. Let the celebration begin. Goodbye, stadium. Hello, Grey Cup game.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are now one step closer to ending a 20-year Grey Cup championship drought after beating the Hamilton Tiger Cats Sunday in the East Division final. Good evening, thanks for joining us. It was the best way to say goodbye to the old stadium. A convincing win yesterday that sends the Blue Bombers to the Canadian Football League's championship game in Vancouver, where they'll face the BC Lions. But what about Winnipeg fans who also want to be there for that big Grey Cup game? Global's Loren McNabb is live at the Bombers store tonight. Loren, you can get your hats and scarves and jerseys there, but those Grey Cup tickets are the hottest ones in town.
That's right, Peter. Fans have been streaming in and out of here all day long, stocking up on gear and trading pointers on how to secure tickets for what's quickly becoming one of the more pricier Grey Cup games seen in years.
This will be the jersey for the weekend.
He knows what he's wearing game day. You've got your Bombers tattoos.
Bomber tattoos under the eyes. We have to have these on as well.
Easy to pack. You can just wear this every single day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't need too much.
Knows, too, where he will be. Bill Stewart and his wife booked their flight to Vancouver months ago. What they didn't buy ahead of time were tickets to the big game.
2 tickets left in one of the suites for $1,000 a piece.
What would your wife say if you paid that?
She'd probably kill me.
And a trip to the Grey Cup to these great fans.
If there is any downside to this Grey Cup, it's that the Bombers will face the BC Lions in BC. A game that was already sold out before the hometown team advanced. Now, the only tickets available are off sites like StubHub or Kijiji. They start at $325 a piece, never mind the hotel and flight.
You could be anywhere in the vicinity of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 depending on how you want to go.
Brian McCarthy says it's all about strategy. Vancouver will be his 17th Grey Cup. And the only ticket he's ever bought ahead of time is for the Bombers social.
This is the best party in all the events. I wait for a kickoff. The scalper that's closest to me, point at him and negotiate. And I haven't spent more than $75 in my life.
Whether you're watching it from Vancouver or here at home, all most fans care about now is ending a 21-year-long Grey Cup drought.
The last time we got a chance to watch the Bombers in the Grey Cup, of course, was in Toronto.
It was 2007, and they lost by a hair. Judging by cornerback Dion Beasley's new do, the Bombers are hoping this time they can make the cut. Now, Peter, Continental Travel, the same group that arranges travel for the Bombers, is also putting together a package for fans. They hope to have prices out by tomorrow morning.
And get your wallets ready. And Loren, the Bombers are being painted as the underdogs in the Grey Cup, so what are the players saying about that?
Well, Peter, it's very rare for the team that's hosting the Grey Cup to also be playing in the Grey Cup, so that perhaps gives the BC Lions an advantage, and the Bombers, they don't seem to mind that.
Coming into this season, we felt as if we were the underdog, and we relished that opportunity. So, I mean, with the way they've been playing lately, I mean, I'm not even upset with that kind of a prediction. So we just have to go out and do what we do best.
Going into BC, they're playing at home. They'll have their fans there. So we fully expect to be the underdogs. But, I mean, with that being said, we still got a game to play, and we're going to go out there and give it our best.
Now, Peter, it's not easy for the team that's hosting the Grey Cup and playing in it to also win. The last time that happened was actually in BC when the BC Lions played and won. That was in 1994. A statistic you may choose to ignore in favor of this next one. The last time the Bombers won the Grey Cup was also in BC. Peter.
Yes, pick your superstition. Thanks, Loren. Loren McNabb live from the Bomber store at Canada Stadium tonight.
Well, you really can't blame the Bombers for being a little red-eyed during team meetings bright and early this morning after celebrating their division win well into the night. The Blue and Gold take off to Vancouver Tuesday to prep for the 99th Grey Cup, a game in which they're billed as underdogs to the hometown Lions. Global's Russ Hobson has more.
You know, just another monster you got to go against, and hey, if you want to, that's what championships are about. You got to find ways to win football games.
Only the BC Lions stand between the Bombers and the end of their 20-year Grey Cup drought. But before the preparations begin for the 99th Grey Cup, players did take a little time to celebrate winning the East Division Championship.
These things don't come often, and you know, it's a chance for us to get together and celebrate something special for this organization.
The Bombers advanced to the CFL's championship game after one of their best all-around team efforts of the season. The defense didn't allow a point in the second half, and the offense finally came out of their shell. They had just two two-and-outs on offense the entire game, and Chris Garrett had one of the best games of his life, running for 190 yards.
One of my best. In college, I rushed for over 200 yards in a game, but this one right here was it was a big one because we're going to the Grey Cup.
The coaching staff has already begun to formulate a game plan for the Lions. The Bombers won both their meetings in the regular season, but that's ancient history now after the Lions won 11 of their last 12 games since the Bombers beat the Leos way back in August.
They're fast on defense. They're very athletic. They got a great quarterback, good receivers, and adding Arlen Bruce has certainly helped their cause. And they're a very good football team. You can see why they won 11 out of 12.
The Blue and Gold Report brought to you by Booster Juice. 7 locations in Winnipeg.